Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at two ducks with a Fury Cutter. And honestly, I was actually thinking before already that this team is most likely very strong, and it is actually very strong, which is hilarious because we have two ducks here. We are running Stunfisk in the lead. I actually had like two different leads before that tried out and was like, yeah, it has to be kind of Stunfisk in order to kind of check most of the boxes. You still can have a bit of a weakness here with this team against Fairy type Pokemon, like mainly weakly tough, like Charmers. Like that's the only real weakness to this one. But then again, you still have neutral matchups there. You're still going to get to Leaf Blades. It's still going to be alright. But anyway, we're going to have the Say-Sop of our Galarian Farfetch and the Closer of our Surfetch'd. Both of them are going to have very similar stats. Surfetch'd is going to be our closer with the stab close combat, doing a ton of damage, and you get there so incredibly fast with the Fury Cutter. But also, both of them having the coverage move of Leaf Blade is insane, helps out Stunfisk weakness to water type Pokemon a lot as well, and as you see here, first battle quite fast, gonna be over. Interesting enough, the Unova Stunfisk is in my opinion one of the most underrated Pokemon in the current meta. Being a hard wall to Dedenne, being a wall kinda to Scissor here as well, being able to at least win that matchup, is going to be so nice and so strong for what we are currently having as our meta. As Trailblaze, yes, going to do super effective damage, but their fast move is resisted, and Trailblaze takes quite a long time to get you. And so, as you will see here, we are going to be in a very solid position. We're going to have access to the shield here, and we can try our best to go for another Mud Bomb, but not before the opponent stops out into their Diggersby. And here is where Surfetch'd is coming in clutch. This is the difference between those two. This one has close combat, the other one can't learn close combat as far as I know. It learns Brick Break, I think, the Farfetch'd. And so Surfetch'd with close combat is going to be able to one-shot Pokemon like Diggersby, and that is absolutely fantastic. In comes the opponent's Dedenne, and what we have for that is our Stunfisk, and we need only 2 charge moves in order to get the full KO against the opponent, which is quite lovely as well. We will see here the Mud Bomb coming through. It is going to allow us to get also the Scissor out. I'm going to keep a Mud Bomb there, hoping that this is going to be the best way of playing that. They're going to go for the Trailblaze, and they only get 2 more Fast Moves in, which means they hopefully don't have a Night Slash stored yet. They don't. We are going to be able to go for a charge move here, knock them out, and win the battle. So we're going to have Dedenne here up against us next. This is going to be again a matchup where we kind of have a great scenario for ourselves. Credilli comes in. The thing is here, they are going to be able to do a lot of damage with the Grass Knot, but their lot of times go for the Rock Tomb. It's a little bit of a guessing game. You are going to be able to outspeed them then afterwards, and that's going to be kind of cool for you. I think it's kind of a guarantee that you're going to be able to realign yourself here though, so like I don't think it's going to be that problematic. Here they played the best way possible for themselves though so far, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. They're going to go for a Grass Knot here most likely, and we have to hope that we can still farm them down, and with that we have the guarantee proof here that we are going to be able to guarantee realign ourselves against Credilli. With our Farfetch'd or Surfetch'd, both of them do the exact same here. But as you will see, we're going to have access to also still the Leaf Blade, which does a ton of damage against the Dedenne from the opponent. And this is going to be great because also Leaf Blade does a ton of damage against the opponent's Marowak. And you see already on how this team functions, we just outspam the opponents. We do so much damage against them, and they just cannot really, fight back against that. Like the Pacing to Leaf Blade, which is a 70 damage move for 35 energy, 9 turns only, is ridiculous. It's a perfect coverage move for those little ducks here, and as you see, we're gonna be able to win also this battle. Moving on, we're going to have the Bastion against us, and we have 2 great answers for this Pokemon in both our lead as well our Surfetch'd there. Farfetch'd itself isn't the greatest one, so what we can do is we can play this one out. They had the non-shadow variant where I was like a little bit hesitant on swapping here, but as we will see, that's going to be the Dynamic Punch coming through. We still have more than half of our health. We're going to be able to go into our Farfetch'd, and I actually want to go for the charge move in time. There was still a lot of clunkiness in the games there. Here I did overfarm by a little bit too much, though. That was my own mistake. Before I wanted to go for the Leaf Blade before they even got to the first charge move. Here I kind of just misplayed for the second one, but I'm still going to leave here with 2 Leaf Blades, and this will allow me to get the KO against the opponent, and we have the Bastion against us. But because we have 2 good answers for it, I might might just keep one Leaf Blade here for later on for a different matchup and hope that they have a Pokemon in the back that I can deal with. But as we see here, we're going to see the classic Bastion and Victory Bell matchup, which is going to be a bit of a tough one for this team. As now with Acid, Victory Bell is going to be able to spam those Leaf Blades, which we know already is a very strong move, like crazy. And so we are going to be forced to let this move go through, and we have to hope that somehow both of our other Pokemon here are still going to have a chance of knocking them, but I'm not too sure about it. Furicata is only neutral because of the poison typing, taking that, like basically resisting it, and the grass typing for it is super effective, so it's going to be neutral against the opponent's Victory Bell. But as you see here, they out-spam us just so fast, which allows them to knock us out, and we're sadly going to lose this one. Third is going to have resisted fast move pressure against both our Farfetch'd as well as our Surfetch'd, and we will see the Talonflame coming in, and this is why we run Farfetch'd as our Say-Sop and not Surfetch'd. Farfetch'd has access to Brave Bird, which is going to make matchups like this quite an interesting one. And we're even going to be able to still go for a Leaf Blade here, which is going to force that shield from the opponent, and we can now end up with a shield scenario on our Surfetch'd here, well knowing that one of the hardest answers is gone, and the third is going to be a great matchup for this Pokemon. And so I swap out of here, and they decide to stay. A Leaf Blade does around 50% of the opponent's health there, even though it's a non-step move against the third. But I know that this is not the range yet, but I'm going to be able to go for a shield here now. It's going to be the Swift, and I know that with the fast move pressure that we have here, we should put them into Leaf Blade range. So Leaf Blade is coming through. This is going to allow us to get the KO, and with that there's going to be the Gligar on the back. Funnily enough, while we are fighting type, we're actually going to do super effective damage with both our fast as well as our charge move with the Surfetch'd, and I'm gonna swap out here first, as this will allow me to get some more damage in against them. I know I win the CMP type with a Leaf Blade guaranteed, and so we are going to be able to get them low enough for Leaf Blade already thanks to the 2 Mud Bombs that we were able to get through. They kind of misplayed this one. They should have played a little bit differently in terms of going for their own charge move a bit earlier. But even then, I do think that a Leaf Blade mostly does around 70% damage onto the opponent there. So I think we would have been fine no matter what. And as we will see, we're going to be able to win the battle with that Leaf Blade. Gligar is on paper the worst possible matchup, but actually it's not that bad, because we're actually going to be able to outspeed them to the Leaf Blade. Here I should just been straightforward. You would have got there at the same time as they would get to the Aerial Ace, and they're going to go into the Dedenne. But because we're going to get the Leaf Blade off before they can get their own boost, I will actually be able to force a shield from the opponent here as well, which is going to be great for us later on. The opponent is designed to use a shield here, but not only this, I should be able to survive a Parabolic Charge, and I might even be able to still win this matchup here, but as you see, they sadly put us into farm down range, which means our Stunfisk coming through here now, and we're just gonna try to get as much energy as possible. All the energy that we can get here can be handy later on, even though we know it's a Gligar in the back, which to resist everything we have here, it still might be kind of nice that we have like so much energy here for later on. So we're gonna swap out now into our Surfetch'd this time around. We go straight for the Leaf Blade because we can outspeed the opponent's Gligar. That is the main benefit here, and the opponent makes the interesting play that let the move go through, which in my opinion is absolutely fantastic for us. This just makes it easier for our Stunfisk to even have play against the Gligar, which it didn't have before. We have the Lapras here, but what we are actually able to do is we are going to be able to CMP tie here, which I did on purpose, and this will allow us now to get the move off before they can go for their own. And we're gonna put them perfectly into fast move down range for our Stunfisk. And as I told you before, all the energy can be important, and we see already why it's so important. As here, I was actually still thinking that Discharge was more expensive compared to the Mud Bomb that recently got changed. So Discharge would have been the better play here. Doesn't really matter, not really. They have a few HP left, and Mud Bomb is gonna seal the deal here as well, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we're going to have the Dusclops against us. That is going to be again a matchup where we can just go for hopefully some Mud Bombs against the opponent. We are going to be able to just let the Ice Punch go through, and the Mud Bomb is coming through here as well. This is going to be alright. We are going to have here the charge move coming in. We're going to have the charge move coming through against our Farfetch'd here as well. That's going to be alright. And we're going to have at least a Leaf Blade now that is going to be able to knock them out, but it's going to be generally one of the worst matchups possible. Dusclops is a very strong Pokemon in the meta that recently got a lot more play. A lot more people are running this Pokemon, so yeah, might be something I want to showcase as well again. Like, this thing apparently is super good in the current meta. So many people are running it, and it's also very commonly seen in the play Pokemon meta. Like, Dusclops seems to be one of like the most used Pokemon currently. Anyway, we're going to see here Farfetch going to be able to go for a Leaf Blade again. We're going to try our best to go for another one afterwards, but we have to of course use some shields here, and Aerial Ace is going to one-shot us, guaranteed, and we are still going to be able to outspeed them though all the time. Leaf Blade is coming through. This will get the shield from the opponent, and I just want to go basically get me 2 shields down, which is smart, understandable. We got them low enough that even a Mud Bomb would knock them out at this point nearly. But the Leaf Blade is going to seal the deal here, get the KO against the Gligar, but still going to be a tough matchup against the Ferret here in the back. We have to try to get to the close combat here, but as you can see, we're going to be able to actually get the catch done correctly, but sadly they're going to be able to go for the full farm now, and they're going to get more damage onto me here and get enough to get to another Swift against our Surfetched. So I have to go straight for the charge move, hoping that that Leaf Blade is going to be enough. I would have not been able to go for the close combat here, and they survived by a 1 HP and a Dream, and this was a very tough matchup, and we still nearly managed to win this battle here. But yeah, well played by the opponent. Let's take a look here at the next one. Let's see here, we're going to have the Scissor. Scissor is going to be an interesting one. We're going to be able to go for the Mud Bomb against them again. It's going to be a very solid matchup, but this time around they actually let the first move go, which we usually don't have. Trailblaze is coming in, and we are going to be able to go for another Mud Bomb here. This is going to either allow us to get the KO or get the shield from them, and I actually thought that they were quite fast here to get to the move. I was like, oh, this should be alright, we're going to be able to take that Night Slash, but it wasn't a Night Slash, so that was a bit of a mistake, but I loved on how I played the matchup afterwards. We're going to have the Jacent here, and this is going to be a perfect Leaf Blade onto them, doing a lot of damage, easily going to be enough to two-shot them, but I kind of want to keep both of my ducks kind of alive here, because I didn't know what one do I need. Do I need the Brave Bird, or do I need the Close Combat? And so I saved the Close Combat one here, just for the more firepower for later on. And as you see here, they go actually for the Shadow Ball, which I didn't expect, and I barely miss out on the Leaf Blade. Of course, in hindsight then, a shield would have been ideal most likely, but I still have my, what's called Surfetched here. I can go for the Leaf Blade still straight away. They definitely had a charge move there stored after that Hex as well, but I can get the KO. And what we see here is a Lapras in the back. We have to outspeed them in order to win, and we barely do that. And with that, we are going to be able to win this battle, knocking them out, and we can move on to the next opponent. Where Talonflame is going to wait for us in the lead, and in comes the Annihilape, and that is going to be a very tough matchup. That is just very, very tough generally. As we will see here, the opponent is going to, be able to go for another charge move. I hope it's not the Ice Punch, it is the Ice Punch. I was hoping that it's going to be just the Rage Fist, but Annihilape is just a very tough one for, this team generally. It is not really a very common Pokemon in the current meta, I would say, but it is definitely a very, very tough one. Just, full stop here. We're going to have the Leaf Blade coming through. Leaf Blade is going to allow us to get the KO here, but we will see as well that they're still going to get to the Talonflame. I tried my best to go for the Brave Bird. I barely miss out on it, and with that, there's no way of winning this battle, so I'm just going to forfeit here as there's a Gaston in the back. Gaston would have been fine for my Surfetched there, but the rest just didn't work out for me. Drapion is going to be up here now against us. This is going to be alright. We are going to be able to go ahead and go for the Mud Bomb against the opponent. This will allow us to get the shield, and this is generally a very positive matchup for us, as we have super effective stab damage. They have super effective damage but not stab, so like we are going to be generally in a better position, as well as they are going to have resisted fast move pressure while we have neutral one. Let's hop out into the Araquanid though, and what we can do is we can go for a Discharge and try to get them a little bit lower, and I'm still going to go for another one even afterwards, because I know I kind of want to go for a Leaf Blade here in order to get the KO, and I need another charge move off them. But as we see here, because we are having such a speedy team, we're actually going to be able to get to that Leaf Blade still in time, knocking them out, and what we'll see is the Superior coming in, and we can try our best to go for the close combat, but we're not going to be able to get there in time, so we use a shield on to the Superior as they swap back into the Drapion. Close combat is coming through now. I was wondering if they're gonna let the move go or not. They decided to use a shield here, and it's gonna be a bit tough one because now we don't reach another Leaf Blade. I think if I went for the double Leaf Blade, I maybe would have been able to get there in time, but now it's down to the Stunfisk, but luckily we outspeed the opponent, which is so important, as now We are going to get them low and basically KO them there as well. I will be able to outspeed them here as well to a charge move, but I can only go for a Leaf Blade. I would have never been able to reach the Brave Bird in time. But look at the damage we did already just with the Fury Cutter. Even though it's not stab, with a recent update, those ducks are no joke, and we can just fully farm them down here with our Stunfisk, winning us the final battle. This team was amazing. Like, this team was so much fun. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.